everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies featuring the official Halo Cookbook. The chocolate cream pie was pretty good last week, so now we're on to the drink, hot chocolate. Now, I was hoping it would just be an exhibition, not a potentially useful recipe. I ended up with some sinus-related fun and games this week, but I never was able to pin down what was causing it. It could have been hay fever, a cold, or just me running myself into the ground during baseball testing last week. Or it could have been also musical temperatures that we've been having a lot of up and down temperatures down here lately, and I figured that's probably what most likely caused it. Anyway, that rambling aside, let's go ahead and tell the story of this recipe. We're into the drink this week, by the way, hot chocolate. The simple yet decadent hot chocolate. You know, I always hear space referred to as cold and empty. It's actually not cold in the traditional sense, but don't let that stop you from warming yourself up with a nice warm drink. It is empty though, space specifically, but also my mug shortly after I prepare one of these. Well, there are some other things that are empty, but we won't get into those. Anyway, as usual, the ingredients are waiting for us over at the table, so let's head in that general direction. For this recipe, we're going to need 2 cups of oat milk, a 1/4 cup of honey, a 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, a pinch of salt, an ounce of dark chocolate chopped. Once again, it's more torn than chopped, but we can deal with that, and whipped cream. With that, let's move into the kitchen and start putting this recipe together. We're over at the stove where we've got a medium saucepan waiting for us already. So we're going to start off by combining the first 5 ingredients, I believe it is. Yep. First 5 ingredients in this saucepan over medium heat. I'm going to get a whisk ready. So we'll start off with our 2 cups of oat milk. I'm going to pour this over the sink. Once again, we'll remember that reading the meniscus is a thing that they taught us back in high school chemistry class. Okay, maybe a little more than 2 cups, but not too bad. Okay, we've got that. The oat milk can go back into the fridge at this point, once I get it closed down nice and tight. Oh, right, you were fitting over here. Alright, then we want the 1/4 cup of honey. So we've got the honey right here. Okay. I'm trying to get to a scraper here. Okay. I think that's the best we're probably going to be able to do with that. Yeah. Move that toward the dishes as well, and the honey can go back up. A 1/3 of a cup of peanut butter. As you can probably hear, I'm still a little bit in the cold, but I think I'm in the tail stages of it now. Maybe a little bit of sniffling, the occasional cough, the occasional sneeze. But otherwise, I think the worst of the symptoms of the cold seem to be clear. So hopefully I won't be having too many problems the rest of this. So hopefully I won't be having too many more problems with this. Especially when the temperature Hopefully when hopefully when the temperature starts to settle down a little bit more. Okay. Alright, I think that's probably about as much of that as I'm going to get. Once we get the peanut butter put back up, there we are. 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So there should be enough in here. We're going to get 2 tablespoons out in one shot. Okay, maybe not. Well, that looks about right. Alright, the full one can go back up. The now empty one can go into the garbage. And a pinch of salt. Like that. We're going to reorganize this so the cabinet actually closes. Then we want to set that over medium heat, so we're going to put that at about a 5. About right there. Then we want to whisk it together to make sure the mixture doesn't burn on the bottom of the pan, and we're waiting for this to come to a simmer. So it's going to be a little bit of a weird angle, and yes, you are going to get my arm and shot. No, there's nothing I can do about it. Unless I were to set the camera at a weird angle, which I could do. Either way, you're going to have my arm and shot. So I'm just going to... Actually, I think I want to be over top of this rather than the camera. So I'm going to move the camera slightly. Turn it about... I don't like it being that crooked, though. I think we're just going to set it like that. It'll be awkward for me coming over the top, but... This is a part that can absolutely screw the recipe up. So we're going to do this So we're going to do this in real time because we want this to come to a simmer specifically, not boil. Doesn't look like my arm's too bad. Actually, I don't think my arm's in shot at all here. And remember, for those of you who aren't familiar with kitchen terms, simmer is when bubbles start forming. You don't want it to come to a rolling boil, because at that point you've definitely gone too far with it. And I think I'm just deciding if I want to pull dishwater while I'm waiting for this to simmer. If I was doing this off channel, I absolutely would be pulling dishwater right now. But Actually, I don't think I need that at this point. But yeah, like I said, if I was cooking this off channel, I absolutely would be pulling dishwater right now. But since we're doing this on channel, we're not going to. I'm just checking to make sure that it's actually heating up, and it seems like it is. Yep, it is definitely heating up. Okay. I'm gonna whisk it. I want to keep this moving so the mixture doesn't burn in the pan. Okay. We'll just let that settle. I don't think it's quite to the point where I want it to be yet. I'm actually going to grab my phone real quick while that's still waiting to come to a simmer. Okay. I think the bubbles that are forming in there are from me keeping the mixture moving. So we're not quite ready for the next step yet. This is going to be a short recipe, so rest easy on that front. Okay. It's definitely got heat coming off of it, so I'm not worried about that part. Okay, we are starting to see some bubbles in there. Like I said, I think most of what I'm seeing in there is from when as I've been stirring the recipe. Okay. Okay, now we're starting to see more of the heat bubbles, I think. So now I think we want to add now we're going to add the hot chocolate, or not hot chocolate. Now we're going to add the dark chocolate into the recipe, and I want to cook. Oh boy, we're going too far. We need to get the chocolate in there. We're going to cook that. We're going to cook this up until it melts. Which hopefully won't take too long. Stir that all in. But yeah, we definitely need to be very careful with this because I think we're in danger of going too far. I'm actually going to pull it off. I think the chocolate's mostly melted in there, so when you stick chocolate in hot liquid, it's not going to last long. So I think at this point we're going to kill the heat, get this off because it's starting to boil, and I think that's going to be going too far with it. And then we'll move over to the counter. I gave the hot chocolate mixture a few minutes to cool down because I think the boil might have been a little too far, but we're going to find out soon enough. So now we're going to divide the mixture between 2 mugs. Hopefully I've got two big enough mugs here. We might have to get more than that involved. Doing this, better idea. We're going to move this over the sink. I was going to do it over the counter, but that's a really dumb idea with liquid. Because I'd have to clean it up. So we're going to move the pour over to the sink. That way if something goes sideways with the pour, it's already in the sink and all I have to do is run a little bit of water. Do I think I need a funnel for this? One wouldn't hurt. Actually, I'd probably melt the funnel, but it's probably fine. Actually, yeah, that seems to be working pretty well. Let's see how the second mug goes. Bring this back just a little bit. Come on. And let's pour it this way. Okay, maybe a little more in here. Okay. Yeah. Looks like I got enough for 2 mugs. Excellent. So now we're going to top these up with. Actually, now we're going to move. Now I think we're okay to move back to the main counter. So we'll do that here. Okay. Wonderful. Now we'll get the whipped cream out, which is right here. I've never used whipped cream before, so this should be interesting. Ow. Okay. Oh. Press nozzle sideways with... So hold it, turn can completely upside down, and press nozzle sideways with the finger. There we are. We'll top these up with some whipped cream. And we'll put the whipped cream back in the fridge. We'll take one of these, and then we'll take one of these mugs over to my desk for the taste test. Admittedly, my hot chocolate recipe is usually just grab a pouch of pre-made stuff, pour it into a cup, and pour hot water on top of it, stir, and enjoy. So making hot chocolate that takes a little more effort than that is always an interesting adventure. But let's give this a taste and see what I think. I definitely like the blend of this. It's got enough. It's not overly sweet, which I've been kind of sensitive to in the last few years. I tend to use pineapple as my sweet tooth. That does a lot of the job of satisfying my sweet tooth. So it's good when I don't find stuff that's overpoweringly sweet, which this is not. But that is another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books. Next week we'll be into a new cookbook, but I'll talk about that tomorrow during the end of March recap. As for the games, tomorrow we're playing game number 2 on my Tack Up Wargaming list as we play the Hunters. And Wednesday we're playing Lucidity, Six-Sided Nightmares. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.
Thank you.